Hey guys, how's it going? Today is October 21st, 2025. Yesterday and last night, the custom harvesters are here at the combine, combining corn for us when we were filling the bag. They finished that up last night, but they still had some corn sitting around in the truck and in the grain cart, I think. They're running that in the bagger right now. And I come up to the heifer farm here. My pap was working on hauling manure up here yesterday. We gotta try to, looks like he got pretty much all this pile cleaned up out back. We can chase these out and start cleaning some of these pens out, but we got a busy day today. We want to try to get some corn fodder made. It's supposed to rain maybe tonight and I think tomorrow, and yesterday was a really good drying day for it. And the corn fodder didn't really have, the stalks didn't have much moisture in them whatsoever at all, I don't believe. So it should get pretty dry, although it is pretty cold this morning. We had a good frost, and it was a pretty decent fog there for a while, so it's got to stay pretty damp till the sun can get up and get things dried off. But in the meantime, we're going to haul some manure before we have to unhook the tractor to use it in the stalk chopper, because believe it or not, we still don't have enough tractors to go around, even though they're all up and running. The 2294 is still on the mixer. The 2090 is the only one that can't be used because it's leaking antifreeze, but I think that's supposed to go get fixed this week. So in the meantime, we'll use the other 4 that we have. But yeah, they might sit in the shed for a decent part of the year, but there's times of the year where it would really be nice to have another tractor, even though it would be just another one sitting in the shed. You kind of have to look at it both ways. In the busy seasons, they definitely all get used. But all right, we'll get these cattle chased out of here, and we can start scooping out of this barn here out back. Heifers are still out on pasture yet, but we still have a bunch of beef cattle here at home in the pens, so they are pretty full of manure. It'll take a little bit to get this cleaned out. And then the lower barn, some heifers and some beef cows down here have some calves. The lower end is gonna need cleaned out too. We'll get the 2290 fired up, get it warming up here. It's usually pretty cranky in the cold weather. Since it had an overhaul and new injectors, it shouldn't be too bad, but I still think it wouldn't hurt to have that pump rebuilt. Load out here. Once you get some of that cleaned out there in the barn, it should be able to back in if it's not too low. With this spreader here, we can back in because it's narrow enough. Makes it nice to load in there on the concrete. It was pretty dry out back here until we started getting some rain again. Now it's just it's a muddy mess. after we got that upper bar cleaned out, traded it off for the stock chopper. It's our international flail chopper. It's what we use to chop corn stalks. So the head on the combine does chop some of the stalk off, but you're left with a good 6-8 inches here sticking up off the ground, even some more. Sometimes it doesn't quite get chopped off as nice. We like to run this through, chop it up more. You get more off the field doing it this way, and it's not so hard on your tires. You don't have these big stalks poking through your tires, and it's not as hard on the rake when you're raking the fodder up either. But my first time running this thing. I don't think I ran it one time before, but not in this higher corn stalks or anything like that. So you gotta be pretty precise with this machine. You want it low enough that you're cutting it off, but you don't want it too low. You're digging into the ground and burning the belts up either. That can be a problem, but seems to be going pretty good. Nice air going, the sun's out. Should be able to get some corn fodder made today. all she wrote. Got her all chopped, at least what we're doing today. Just top of the hill here, and then that little piece there at the turn. Looking like rain's supposed to rain here in the next couple hours, so we didn't want to get a whole lot done. Because if you chop it up and let it rain, it's a pain to get to dry back out again. So ideal thing is to do what we do now. Go through, chop it. When it's dry, rake it up and get her baled right away. So sometimes you'll have to chop it and let it lay for a little bit, but usually I like to wait till it's pretty dry to chop it because of that reason, if it would get rained on. Seems to be making nice bales. It's nice stuff. Not really weedy on top of the hill here at home, so that really helps with the drying too. If there's a lot of weeds in it, it's hard to get it dry. But it's making quite a few bales. I remember one time it made like 150, I think, on top of the hill, this piece alone, but that was also with this offset here too. And maybe that alfalfa strip was in corn at that point. I don't remember, but it's not going to make that this year because the corn wasn't very tall, so therefore you don't have the stalk to add up. But yeah, we'll take what we can get. We got fields down the road too that they combine that we'll have to get them done, and there's also 2 strips here at home yet too that need done. Pap's finishing up breaking that little piece there, and Dad's got about half of this off this hill here baled. It'd be nice to get it wrapped up here today. Stock chopper seemed to work pretty good. I did get the corn bag finished this morning. Those of you that have been watching the past couple harvest videos when we were filling bags, you see a New Holland tractor on the bagger. That was not ours. I wish, but it's the bagging company's tractor. We like them to bring a tractor because our biggest tractor is the 2294. That's only 154 horse. Those baggers over 200 is what they liked. That way they can feed them nice and fast and keep things moving. Otherwise, you know, we're taking power takeoffs out on ours, busting them up. It ain't worth it for what they charge an hour to rent that tractor out to run it. We might as well do it that way. Just make the most sense. But yeah, it was a T7 260. They ran it, filled the 2 corn silage bags, or the 3 corn silage bags, and then the snappage bag, and then the grinder mill, which was what you would have seen in the last video when they were doing the high moisture corn. It's a bagger, and then it has a grinder and a hammer mill on it. So it gets through the hammer mill first, and then it gets put in and it's put through the bagger. It's all one machine. At one time you had 2 different machines, so you'd have to have 2 different tractors, but nowadays they have one machine that does it all, and it's pretty nice. Pap is now baling. Broke a belt, and then another belt tore, so we just got that one replaced. And he's back to baling. Come down here, I gotta get the 2090 and the disc bind and bring it up. Wash the disc bind up here sometime. Put the 2090 in the shed. We're done with it for the season. Last year I skipped it, but normally every year at the end of the year I wash it up and we put it in the barn down there at the neighbor's place where we farm. Hey guys, how's it going? It is now Thursday. I'll probably gonna wrap up this video here. I was really hoping to get some more action of baling corn fodder, but we just haven't had the weather to do anymore this week. It's been cold and windy. No sunshine though. Gotta take a little bit of sunshine to get some corn fodder dried out enough to bale. But wanted to show you guys, we had some trouble with the baler. You probably remember before this summer we had trouble with the belts tearing right after we put new belts on it. We had a couple more tear out the laces there, and so on the front there's these pieces they help guide the belt. They stick in there and then they just bolted by one bolt up there, and they keep the belts from riding against each other. And some of these here have grooves wore in them, and actually 2 of them were wore off. There was just nothing left after this point here, so they weren't doing anything. One was missing altogether, so I made 2 of them. I had enough stuff to make 2 of them. All I did was heat it up here and twist it, and made some of our own because from John Deere, because they have green paint on them. I think they're like 30 some bucks a piece. Now one of these still has a sticker on. I do remember putting that one on. What we gotta try to do to these 2 here is put a bead of weld where the groove is here, where it's warm. We got this Lincoln MIG welder. I don't know if we used this down in the parlor, but we were welding flux core with it, and we got 7525 mixed shield gas here to run with MIG wire. Been using the MIG on it, and works really nice. I think that should work nice here. Fill that in, then let's take a grinder, smooth that down. You'll never even know there's weld there. This one here is kind of worn on both sides, but if I do that, that should keep the belts from coming together back there and keep it from wearing. Still gotta get that disc bind washed up, but I'm not washing equipment in 50-degree weather. It's not worth it. There should be a couple warmer days to come here yet before winter. I'll get it washed up and grease it up, and we'll put it in the barn. Keep it out of the weather for the winter until we need it next season again. All right, that's gonna conclude this one. It's just about milking time. We'll get them guides welded up, and hopefully that'll fix that problem, and we should be off to bale some more corn fodder when we get some weather. Hope you enjoyed seeing the cases work up on top of the hill here making corn fodder. I thought that was pretty neat, especially here at home like that. Run the 2 old cases, and then we had the 125 on the round baler. But still pretty neat to get some drone footage. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Anyways, take her easy. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one.